everybody, so we're back talking some more Monarch Legacy of Monsters on the channel, episode 10. We've officially reached the finale of the season, and what a journey it's been. I first of all want to thank you guys for coming on this journey with me, talking about the episodes each and every week. It's been a blast. Thankfully for all of us, the build-up in this finale is exhilarating, and a lot of hype stuff in the conclusion that could potentially set up a season 2. The best place to start is developing more off that big cliffhanger last week that Keiko actually is alive. She's been alive all this time in the Hollow Earth, saving Kate from the bramble boar at the finale of last week. Now the two of them are looking for May and Shaw while they're both looking for Kate. After so much speculation leading up to this finale on what exactly is the time difference between this part of the Hollow Earth and our regular Earth, because of course Keiko looks the exact same, answers that we got I thought were really fascinating. Firstly, those signals that Monarch were picking up, of course, were Keiko, but when everyone finally regroups, we find out the more juicy tidbits, and it's the reveal that Keiko has been keeping track of how long she's been down here, and according to her estimates, she's been down here for roughly 57 days, which is just insane how distorted time is between here and our world. Based on the math, it seems like 1 day down here in this Hollow Earth equals about 1 year up there, which to me, that's just wild. Besides just getting more info about Keiko and how long she's been in the Hollow Earth, the reunions I think were the big thing a lot of us wanted to see, and they really packed on the emotion in some of these reunions. Shaw hiding behind the tree to try and let Keiko down slowly before hitting her with that realization how much time she's lost being down here. Finding out that Bill's gone. Despite all of this heavy material, there is some happiness in just seeing the reunion between Shaw and Keiko and how happy both of them are, especially Shaw. Because when you really think about it with the way that time works between here, Keiko has only been missing them for about 2 months or so, whereas Shaw has been missing Keiko for several decades. And then you have all these emotional moments crescendo into the last one being Kate telling Keiko that she is her granddaughter. And May is kind of just here. I've said it before many a times, I feel bad. As mean as it sounds, she just doesn't have an important role in the story. I don't have anything against May. She just has no connection to everything that's going on, so I feel bad that she's kind of just here. Realistically, it almost seems like May is kind of just here to be an extra person to help carry that device Keiko used to send all those signals across the Hollow Earth. Mixing that with Shaw's pod being left behind, they're gonna try and get the hell out of here, and it seems like they're on their own because Verdugo and Monarch are not gonna try and help them at all, much to Tim's chagrin, to the point where Tim calls Verdugo out, later on resigning from Monarch entirely. Go Tim, I'm glad he decided to finally stand up to Verdugo after all of this time. Besides just the inevitable kaiju battle we know is coming at some point between Godzilla and the Ion Dragon, the moments between Keiko and Shaw were some of my favorite. I'm glad that they lived up to my expectations, since I found a lot of their conversations between each other, reminiscing and catching up on what Keiko's missed, to be pretty endearing. And the way that Shaw tries to summarize to Keiko all the advancements that we've seen in technology since the 1950s. I like how it's just kind of a nice summarization of time and life as we know it. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows though. It gets immediately awkward when Keiko asks how Bill died. I don't know if trying to sugarcoat the story and not telling her the truth, or he doesn't actually know. Shaw says that Bill went down swinging, which we know is not true at all. He got eaten by a skullcrawler.
Oh shit.
Though he's not down there with Kate in the Hollow Earth, I'm quite glad that Kentaro continues to be a main fixture storyline-wise. Finally getting to the bottom of what the hell his father has been doing all this time. Seems like in our latest chapter of Hiroshi's messiness, after all this time, he does believe in his parents' research, wants to prove to everyone that all of it's true about the Hollow Earth and trying to lure a Titan to open a rift. Unfortunately for Hiroshi, of all the Titans he could choose, he got unlucky when he accidentally woke up Godzilla. Though maybe slightly, it seems like Hiroshi is seeing the errors of his ways, how he's chosen to neglect his kid in hopes of proving his parents' research right. After all of this time, he asks Kentaro to work with him. Hiroshi continuously has been shown to be a terrible father, so I had to laugh how Kate has to lie or kind of beat around the bush when Keiko asks about Hiroshi. I don't know how Hiroshi managed to fumble 2 bad bitches in the same show. Something like that needs to be studied. Because now he's forced to pack up all of his belongings and say goodbye to Kentaro's mother, which is kind of bittersweet. That acceptance that the relationship may be ending, but regardless, he should still have Kentaro in his life. Which is very convenient with how the story progresses that Kentaro and Hiroshi are going to inevitably be working together. Because Tim tracks down Kentaro to go and try and get Hiroshi's assistance to try and rescue Kate's group from the Hollow Earth. The moment they alluded alluded to there being other game in town to get help from. I think if you're aware of the history of the MonsterVerse and a previous episode, you knew exactly who that other help was going to be. Truly though, each time we cut back to Kate's group trying to drag this giant thing across the hollow earth, I felt horrible for them. Based on the geography that we saw, it looks like they had to push this thing really far to get near the rift. At first, I was kind of shocked that Shaw's pod still works after all these years, but then I had the realization that this pod, realistically, has only been here for a couple weeks, technically, even despite Shaw leaving it here back in the 1960s. You gotta love weird, timey-wimey stuff. After having all these various different revelations, I can't exactly blame Keiko for having hesitation on going back to the regular Earth. You do understand why she'd rather stay behind, fearing the world that she'd come back to isn't the one that she left, and just the overall uncertainty of everything being this fish out of water in regular Earth when she came back. Even pondering the idea that she would potentially ruin Hiroshi's life if she came back up there. If only she knew that Hiroshi was doing a great job all on his own ruining his life. I don't know what Ion Dragon's beef is with Shaw. Oh, Keiko, May, and Kate get into this pod, try and lure a Titan to them so they can get back. Things just get absolutely wild. All of this is just a phenomenal use of tension and building up this sequence. Cut to Godzilla coming through that rift like he just entered into the Royal Rumble. Regardless of the fact I knew it was going to be Godzilla and Godzilla was going to fight the Ion Dragon, I was hype. This entire battle between the two of them is phenomenal. It's definitely in the top tier of MonsterVerse battles, despite this being on an Apple TV Plus show. You can absolutely tell they put a lot of time, money, and effort into making this battle look amazing. I was kind of surprised by how the Ion Dragon's power set was, because even though we have seen him a couple times, we've never saw him engage in any sort of battle. I wasn't expecting a spit attack from him. I was shook when Godzilla just grabs the Ion Dragon out of the air, hits him with the atomic breath on the ground, spins him around and tearing his arm off, and then just throws Ion Dragon into the rift. How can you watch something like that and not just have your mind blown instantaneously? Though my high came crashing down immediately when Shaw thanks Keiko and decides to stay behind while everyone else returns through the rift. Now, I don't think that Shaw is dead by any means. If anything, I think it's a clever way to keep him there. And storyline-wise, I think it would make better sense to have him down there in the Hollow Earth, because they would probably wonder where the hell Shaw has been in movies like King of the Monsters or Godzilla vs. Kong. Now you kind of have an out because Shaw is stuck in this little pocket dimension in the Hollow Earth. That's at least how I feel about the situation. Share your thoughts down below how you feel about it, because there are going to be a lot of things to discuss. Burning questions, theories. The stuff with Shaw is just the beginning of them. Kate, Kentaro, Hiroshi, even the crazy realization Hiroshi has seeing his mom look the exact same as when he was a boy. But you have to remember, time works differently between the Hollow Earth and here, so just how long have they been gone? Not as crazy amount of time as Keiko or Shaw. It's revealed when Brenda from Apex Cybernetics walks out to give them a rundown. It's 2017 now. They basically were gone for 2 years. Turns out it was Apex Cybernetics Skull Island Research Center. And you know what that means, right? Yup. That means we get a little quick appearance of Kong at the tail end to cap off the season. Not sure if it's intentional or not, but I do think it is kind of fun that it's 2017 in universe. The Kong Skull Island came out in 2017, though it's not set in 2017. But yeah, I have to wonder if a season 2 of this show does happen. It's 2017, so there's still a whole lot of stuff you can do in those gaps in between this and King of the Monsters in 2019. And building up all of that story with the Apex Cybernetics side, because Apex does play a huge role in Godzilla vs. Kong. A large amount of that cast are Apex Cybernetics characters. But maybe even if there is a season 2, we can even build up more of the stuff with Kong, since we obviously get a tease of him at the tail end. Really, the possibilities are kind of endless as far as continuing to fill in the gaps in the MonsterVerse. So if you have any theories on what you want to see, if there is a season 2, I'd love to know yours down below. But now for my thoughts on the finale for Monarch Legacy of Monsters, make sure you share your thoughts down below. How'd you feel about the episode? Did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? Like I said, share your theories down below. And also, thank you guys for tuning in each and every week as I discuss this series. It's been a blast, especially lately as a Godzilla fan. Between the show, of course, Godzilla -1 was fantastic as well. So I do want to thank you guys so much for checking out all of that stuff. Hopefully you stick around to check out some of my other content, because I talk about a lot of other movies and shows on the channel. Thank you guys, as always, though, for checking out the videos. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. For the next time, see you guys later.